United Movement Kickoff Webinar for 2026, and it's inspiring to see young leaders, partners, and advocates joining us from across the region. So as you settle, please introduce yourself in the chat box. We want to see your name, your country, and also one word that captures your hope for 2026. So United is a movement built on collaboration and shared purpose and youth-led action. So today, as we have our kickoff webinar, it marks the beginning of another year of impact, learning, and collective advocacy. So thank you everyone for making your time to be here. We are looking forward to have a great session. So please introduce yourself in the chat box, your name, your country, and one word that captures your hope for 2026. We can move to the next slide so that we can get a bit of some virtual rules. Make sure that if you want to talk, you can put your contributions in the chat box. You can also raise your hand and our host will also give you the opportunity. So just like what I've said, my name is Lakmo Pamidzai. I'm one of the moderators and I'm not alone. I'm also with Ravel. So Ravel, I can give you this opportunity to introduce yourself.
Hi everyone, good afternoon everyone. My name is Ravel Toto and I am from Burundi and I am one of the outgoing United Movement steering committee member and I'm going to be guiding through some of the part of our session today. Thank you. Over, Lakmo.
Thank you very much, Ravel. So to get us started, we have a quick Menti icebreaker to feel the pulse of the room. So I'll kindly ask Tawanda to share the screen. So we are supposed to be, so if you check in the chat box, I have shared the link. You click the link and then you can access the Menti. So let's click the link and then we can access the Menti. We just have few questions. We have 6 people that have joined now. 11 people, let's join. 12, 14, 15, 16. All right, so a lot of people have joined now. So I'll move to the first question. In which year was the United Movement formed? In which year was the United Movement formed? So we need to be fast to respond. Look at your device. We have few seconds to respond to that question. In which year was the United Movement formed? We have 4 people that said 2018, we have 0 2015, 2022, 11, and we have 3 for 2020. Let's move on to the next question. Question number 2. Remember, you need to answer quickly. So which pair represents the coordinators of the United Movement? We have the first option, Lakmo and Ravel. We have Angel and Faith. We have Meron and Joyce. We have Eddie and Nicholas. Which pair? Yes, so 5 said Lakmo and Ravel, which is incorrect. And 12 said Angel and Faith, which is very correct. Others said Meron and Joyce, incorrect. And one person said Eddie and Nicholas, which is also incorrect. Let's move on to the next question, which is question number 3. Answer quickly to get more points, because at the end we'll get our quiz leader. What is the main goal of United Movement? What is the main goal of United Movement? The correct answer is selection A, which talks about unite youth-led HIV and SRHR networks and strengthen coordinated advocacy. And we have 23 people who got that correct. Let's move on to our last question, which is question number 4. Which 2 networks founded the United Movement? This is our last question. Thank you very much. So the responses are in, and we have 3 saying Afrian, ESA, and UNFPA. We have 3 saying Y Plus Global and UNICEF. We have 11 saying Afrian, ESA, and Y Plus Global, and we have 4 saying UNAIDS and UNICEF. So the correct answer is Afrian, ESA, and Y Plus Global. So now let's see the leaderboard. The person with highest points, we have Beyonce. The second person, we have Mukua Tanaka. The third person, we have NK. Thank you very much, everyone, for participating and for interacting well. So we want to move on with our program. So you can go back to our slides, Tawanda. Yes, next slide. So these are the virtual rules that I've talked about. Let's use the chat box to introduce ourselves, and let's always keep our mic on mute, and let's use the chat box for questions during the session, and raise your hand during the Q&A session. We want this session to be interactive and to be also interesting. Yes, let's move. Okay, so this is the outline of our session. We are going to have the introduction, which we are already doing now. and we are going to have the overview of the United Movement. I know many of us, we are aware of it, but we also have other new members that are joining in. We also have a session on youth-led voices. We're going to have our breakout discussions and plenary, and then at the end, we are going to have our closing remarks. So it's not a long webinar. It's a short one. Let's stay engaged until the end. So thank you everyone for your great energy as we start, but allow me at this juncture to introduce our first presenter. So to officially begin our program, I'm pleased to invite Faith, who is going to give us an overview of the United Movement. Faith, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Lakmo, and good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure to have you all here, and as we officially kickstart our year's United Movement, quite a bit odd that we are starting off the year almost in the third month of the year, but yeah. Please move the slides. For those who are new here, my name is Faith Tipe, and I'm the United Movement Program Officer with the Global Network of Young People Living with HIV, known as Y Plus Global. And United Movement is a movement that is co-convened by Y Plus Global and African ESA, with support from UNICEF, UNFPA, and UNAIDS as part of the Together for SRHR program and the CEDA funding. And we are spanning 15 countries in East and Southern Africa region, as listed, as you can see in the uh, screen, and we have grown to over 700 active members by 2025 December, and we are hoping that we will double this membership even in 2026 and going uh, beyond that. Next slide. Um, a question was asked, when was United Movement formed? And most of you had given quite different answers. But for background, United Movement was culminating out of a summit that was held sometime in 2023 in Joburg, which then young people came together and said, we want a platform that we would be able to bring our voices together as youth advocates and youth-led networks in East and Southern Africa region, uniting in one voice to enhance our capacities, collaborating and leveling up in joint advocacy. And the aim is just to accelerate youth-led responses towards HIV and SRHR commitments, collectively addressing the persisting challenges that adolescents and young people are facing in our region, knowing that the region is a high burden region in issues of HIV and SRHR. We are a movement that unites young people to level up in their advocacy and strengthen their capacities as young leaders in different formats, which you will get to know about as we go on, and also get to hear the lived experiences from those that have benefited from the activities that we implement as United Movement. We unite ourselves to catalyze change either at regional level or country level. Next slide. And as part of the formation came up as a result of the crisis that was identified, being that HIV and SRHR rights of adolescents and young people continue not to be met. And we all know the popular saying that says, nothing for us without us. And that's where United Movement comes in to say, instead of having a lot of people programming for young people and they don't know what young people exactly need, can we have young people being the one who are leading in the implementation and programming of their own needs? Next slide. And United Movement's work is guided by Four goals. The first one being capacity strengthening, and our capacity strengthening is in two parts. We have the capacity strengthening that is targeting youth-led networks that are part of our movement, and one that is targeting youth advocates that are part of our movement. You'd get to hear more about those initiatives that we have come up under United Movement, such as the Strengthening Youth-Led Networks Capacities, known as SYNC Initiative, and the Youthfluencer Initiative, which are two parts of our capacity building initiatives, one targeting youth-led networks and one targeting youth advocates that are part of our movement. We also have intensifying advocacy, which speaks to just the advocacy work that we do as a movement at regional and at country level. In the past year, we've gotten to implement a regional campaign titled Can't Stop, Won't Stop, which fits under this particular outcome area or goal. And you get to hear about it from one of the young people who were at the forefront of leading that particular campaign. And then we also have the linking, sharing, and learning outcome area where we bring together youth-led networks in our movement, youth advocates within our movement to link, learn, and share from each other the best practices of programming for adolescents and young people in different countries that could be leveraged or benchmarked by other countries to take up into their own spaces of work and programming. And then we have the coordination and collaboration, which basically speaks to bringing all the networks within the movement to collaborate and that is coordinated by Y Plus Global and AFRIAN as the co-conveners of the movement. And under this component as well, we have the country representatives whom we introduced last year. And in this particular year, there will be outgoing and incoming new country representatives whom you will get to meet and connect with for you to be able to engage at country level and ensure that your voices are brought forward to the entire steering committee. We also do have the steering committee, which is represented by some of the United Movement members and the technical partners that we are working with, being the two co-conveners, AFRIAN and Y Plus Global, UNAIDS, UNFPA, and UNICEF, and then the Young Women in Leadership Hub, and then individuals who are affiliated to networks that are part of the movement, and also overall United Movement members who then represent the overall movement. And under this outcome, also, we've gotten to implement different activities at country level, of which you get to hear about and the impact and the outcomes. And we'll also get to hear from you in terms of how you'd want us to then carry forward those kind of activities going forward into this year, how to best cater for all the movement members. Um, Please do follow us on all our social media platforms on Facebook, Instagram, and X, formerly known as Twitter. We are United Movement ESA. Drop us a follow, a like, a share, and engage with the content that's being shared on those platforms. And we urge all those who are joining us for the first time to make sure that you join the movement. At the end of the call, we'll display the join the movement QR code, scan it, and join the movement. And when you are joining the movement, please pay attention to all the details that are in there. There is a part where you have to click on a link to join the WhatsApp group, the main WhatsApp group. And then from there, you can scroll down to look for your country WhatsApp group and join the WhatsApp group as well. Because those are the platforms that we use to communicate. Uh, and yeah, that's all. Thank you. I will hand over to my moderators.
Thank you very much, Faith, for that overview. I hope we now understand what is United Movement. And I think at the end, Faith encouraged us, to those who haven't registered or joined the movement, to do so and also follow our social media platforms. But during Faith's presentation, she also highlighted some of the things that the United Movement have been doing in the past year. And this is the moment that you want to move in. We want to see the key achievements that we have realized during the year 2025. So we just want to have 2025 in recap. So I'll be inviting speakers who are going to take us through this key achievements. So these key achievements, they are in line with our thematic areas. We remember we have four, which is capacity building, advocacy, linking, learning and sharing, coordination and collaboration. So I'll kindly invite key population Uganda if you are available. I don't know the name of the person who is presenting. For the Sync initiative.
Yes,
Yes.
my name is Joe Mathias, and I'm going to be the one representing key population in Uganda.
Yes, thank
Okay,
you, Joel. You can take us through.
all right, thank you. Okay, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for having me. My name is Wengela Joe Mathias from Key Population Uganda, doing programs coordination. I'm grateful to the United Movement for inviting us, and I'm especially pleased to share our experience as a network that has benefited from the initiative. At KPU, we work to advance the health, safety, and human rights of marginalized communities, especially those most affected by stigma and discrimination. For an organization like ours, impact is not only about what we deliver in the community, but also about how strong we are behind the scenes, our governance, our accountability, our systems, our ability to sustain programs over time. We have benefited from the capacity assessment and we are able to determine our network gaps. After this, we are able to create our network capacity strengthening roadmap with capacity strengthening activities such as one-on-one mentorship and technical support. The seed grant has been instrumental in our strengthening as a network. We have completed a board orientation and board governance and effectiveness. This has increased clarity of role, strengthened decision making, and improved oversight. We also established more structured process for board follow-up, creating consistency in governance routines, reporting, and responsibilities. We successfully reviewed and improved the board charter, which has strengthened governance standards and alignment with KP's mission. Advance the intergeneration of improved IT system to enable safer and more efficient operation. This is important because strong IT system reduce operational risks, improve data management, and support continuity of work. With consultant support, we conducted a financial risk and compliance training, improving readiness among staff and board for strong controls and donor compliance. Development of fundraising and communication strategy is underway. We are able to participate in training on short and long-term planning. Our M&E framework and monitoring tools are also development. So we are measuring results in more consistent, learn faster, and improve quality across programs. As I conclude, I want to emphasize the capacity strengthening is not administration. It is an impact. It is what allows us grassroots and humanity service and grow with integrity. The United Movement has and SYNC initiative partners, thank you for investing in our organization, foundation, not just our outputs. And to other networks and organizations listening today, this kind of support is powerful because it helped us build institutions that can withstand challenges and continue serving our young diverse communities long into the future. Thank you for the opportunity to speak. I'm happy to share more details and learn from others during the discussion. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Joel. That was comprehensive, and we have seen the benefits that you have come to your organization through the United Movement. So this is just one example of the organizations that have benefited. There are so many that have benefited from this initiative, and much thanks to the movement. So let's move on to our next speaker, who is Adrian, who is going to take us through the Youthfluencer initiative.
Thank you so much, Lakmo. Good day, everyone. My name is Nicholas Wela, but I prefer Adrian, and I'm honored to be part of the first Youthfluencer cohort under the United Movement. For a little background, the Youthfluencer Initiative is an effort to build a strong network of young advocates who use digital platforms to share accurate, youth-friendly information that can positively influence behavioral change. I believe it recognizes that young people are already shaping conversations online, and it equips us with the tools to do that responsibly, intentionally, and effectively. I was selected as one of the 12 young people from across Eastern and Southern Africa through a very competitive process, which in itself was very affirming. Being in a space with passionate peers from different countries exposed me to diverse perspectives. I believe I learned from many experiences in advocacy, approaches that worked in particular countries, and also found ways that I could then indigenize them and make them work in conservative countries like Zimbabwe. That regional exchange has been one of the most enriching aspects of this journey because it enriches us as youths to focus on those challenges that may differ in different contexts, but also to find solutions that can work collaboratively. The program focuses on strengthening skills in content creation, storytelling, digital advocacy, and responsible online engagement. Through this training and mentorship, I became more confident in how I communicate messages and how I structure content for impact. Also, how I ensure that what I share is evidence based and inclusive. And these are some of the main key takeaways that we got from the very detailed training because United Movement ensured that they found good mentors that could help us navigate ways that could use our online platforms to the best of our ability to be able to push forward um, proper evidence-based, advocacy-based, responsible online, also to try and make sure that whatever message we're sending, we are moving forward and trying to make sure that youth voices are heard, and we're also providing a platform for youth to share their perspectives. One of the key highlights of my participation was leading a mental health awareness campaign. The campaign aimed to break stigma and encourage open dialogue, as well as promote health-seeking behavior among young people. I use interactive methods such as a Q&A session, as well as story-based posts, which were very reflective and prompts so audience could actively participate rather than passively consume my information. The feedback and results were very powerful. I observed an increased engagement across posts, more young people sharing their experiences, and several reaching out privately for support resources. That showed me that when information is presented in a safe, relatable, and affirming way, it can genuinely shift attitudes and encourage positive behavioral change. For me, that was proof that digital advocacy, when done intentionally, can have real world impact. I'm working towards starting my HIV prevention campaign that I should be launching between end of February or early March. And I really hope that it will resonate the same way my mental health campaign resonated. As youthfluencers, we're expected to create constant and meaningful content to engage audiences thoughtfully and always uphold the movement's values. This includes maintaining accuracy, promoting inclusivity, and recognizing the responsibility that comes with influencing online spaces. It is not just about posting, it's mainly about purpose, credibility, and impact. Personally, this initiative has expanded my network, strengthened my confidence, and deepened my commitment to evidence based advocacy. It has also reminded me that youth voices are powerful tools for change when supported, trained, and trusted. I'm so grateful for the opportunity that was presented to me, and I do not take it lightly. So, thank you so much for this platform, and thank you, United Movement, for having this youth voice initiative. It has definitely done so much great to the better good. Thank you so much. Back to you, host.
Thank you very much, Adrian. And much appreciation to your fellow colleagues as well for the great work that you are doing around this initiative. I think we are all seeing how the United Movement is changing the atmosphere of advocacy, especially towards SRHR and HIV. Thank you very much. And most of the times when you talk about United Movement, we think of it as just a regional movement, but we have a lot of things that are happening in countries. So allow me at this juncture to invite Matseliso, who is going to give us a feedback on country level engagement. So let's start with Matseliso, then we'll end with Trevor. Over to you.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. I would like to thank United Movement for this opportunity. Through the support from United Movement, let me start by introducing myself first. Okay, my name is Matseliso Mukitini. I'm from Lesotho. I'm the United Movement country representative. So through the support from United Movement, we, the country representatives from 8 countries, were able to organize country-level engagements in September 2025. Through these engagements, we were able to enhance country-level movement, presence, visibility, coordination, and collaboration. For example, in Lesotho, our workshop, which was held in September, we were able to bring in 10 youth networks and the Ministry of Health, whereby we were able to enable coordination and collaboration. And also in Botswana, young people engaged with UN agencies, including UNICEF, UNAIDS in cross-country dialogues, and in Eswatini, youth sat at the same table with government and UNFPA. These are the examples of the coordination and collaboration that happened with the support of United Movement at the country level. Furthermore, this country level engagement also enhanced or helped the members to develop roadmaps at the country level to enhance their engagement with the movement, both nationally and regionally. And the development of the roadmaps did not only bring about the learning and sharing, there was also enhancement of skills by the members who were present. Members were able to develop the roadmap development skills. They were able to learn about the evidence-based advocacy approaches. They were able to have confidence in policy dialogues. They also had experience in engaging with ministries, such as Ministry of Health and other implementing partners. Furthermore, through the country level engagements, there was a lot of visibility. There was a lot of visibility. For example, in Lesotho, the United Movement became quite visible because after our Lesotho convening, we were able to speak to the national radio and even or to amplify youth voices nationally. Also, we were able to be featured in national newspapers. So it was quite huge. So United Movement was quite visible through that country level engagement. We have different tangible outcomes from our country level engagement. That includes the fact that ministries requested continued engagement in Lesotho, in Botswana, and Eswatini. Also, youth were able to draft statements and policy recommendations for different stakeholders. Also, there was a national youth-led action plans which were created in Tanzania and Uganda. There were also new research partnerships initiated in Botswana. There were also cross-border learning between Botswana and Zambia youth. There was also strengthened collaboration among 6 networks in Burundi. So this country level engagement shifted youth from participants to partners. There were some regional patterns that we observed through the country level engagement, which shows that there is a lot of need for sustainable domestic financing for HIV and SRHR and accountability for policy implementation. And the fact that the country level engagement happened has helped a lot, as I mentioned, that there was a coordination between the United Movement members and the implementing partners in different countries. Thank you very much. On behalf of all the countries, United Movement is no longer an idea in our countries, and it's very good that youth are being coordinated in HIV and SRHR advocacy. And this is just the beginning. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Matseliso, for that brief highlights of country level engagements from the United Movement. But we all know that she highlighted only 8 countries, and United Movement is in more than these countries. So would like to invite you who have joined this webinar to also share your country level experiences in the chat box. So share some of the things that you have done through the United Movement, some country level engagements in your countries that you have done. We also want to hear that and also see the impact that the United Movement have brought in all the countries that we are in. So as we do that in the chat box, allow me at this juncture to also invite Trevor, who is going to tell us about the regional campaign. I think Faith talked about it, but let's hear more from Trevor. So Trevor, over to you.
Thank you very much, and greetings everyone. I'm very delighted to be here today on this call. Once again, my name is Trevor, and I was the country of United Uganda. And I will just be briefly sharing in regards to what Uganda with other countries did when it came to the United Regional Campaign. So as it is, it was a regional campaign, and it was co-created by young people across 15 countries in East and Southern Africa. And how this campaign came about was through a very important consultation that was held prior to the campaign that actually informed the issues that young people wanted the campaign to represent and the issues that the young people wanted the campaign to lead on and address. And when we looked at the data, the most prominent issue that young people brought up was financing. And financing as a very critical need, especially now that we are seeing a very shaky landscape when it comes to health funding. The most prominent issue that young people brought up was HIV financing, and that is what the campaign represented, and that is the issue that the campaign was looking forward to address. So very critically, the campaign was, first of all, regionally held, but on the regional level, it was digital. But then it was implemented physically in Botswana and Uganda. So I will just be giving briefly an account of the activities that took place in Botswana and Uganda, but also noting that the entire campaign was regional and online, and then we had a lot of social media presence. We had young people come up with advocacy videos. There was a lot of content online. I want to actually urge and implore whoever has not visited the United pages to urgently do so that you can also add your voice and take part in the future campaign. So when we looked at online, we had an audience reaching out to over 48,000 people digitally, and then in country levels, we had Uganda and Botswana organizing what we called high-level donor roundtable discussions that convened members of parliament, but also multilateral and bilateral partners in country level. So we had meetings where both Uganda and Botswana mobilized maybe their National AIDS Council. We also had UNFPA, UNAIDS, UNICEF. We had the Ministry of Health taking part, and we saw a lot of visibility of United in convening not only these big partners, but also bringing young people essentially in one voice to say that this is the time when we ensure that youth activities are funded. So we saw an organized mobilization of young people, but also a very organized coordination of these bilateral and multilateral partners that came to in one space to discuss funding. Maybe the critical things that the campaign was pushing for, one was protecting the hard-won gains in the HIV response, but also looking at Africa in terms of sustained domestic financing. We still know that many of the African countries have not yet met the 15% allocation of the Abuja Declaration. So it was critical that one of our advocacy points were for countries to urgently meet the 15% allocation set by the Abuja Declaration, but also for young people to have a very adequate piece of the pie and ensure that youth-led initiatives are not forgotten when it comes to financing for health. We also generally had issues on meaningful youth participation that needs to be urgently institutionalized, youth-led accountability, and largely storytelling, as we are seeing in the different engagements. So like I've mentioned, the engagements were around high-level donor tables, but we also had commitments from governments, from UN agencies. We also had CCM take part, and I think both in Uganda and Botswana, the CCM was a very critical participant when it came to financing, and I think part of United strategy this year is to engage the CCM even strongly. We saw Uganda also having podcasts. A lot of this information is online, so we requested to go and get it. We had expresses, we had a lot of discussion around the webinar, around the campaign. So generally, United is an emerging strong force for young people. And I think that was one of the recognitions we had, maybe from my experience in Uganda. We are seeing interest for United to join the movements that are in country. We are also seeing the need for United to keep represented in key decision-making spaces. We are seeing youth-led initiatives inviting United to be a convener for youth-led organizations and generally organizations that are advancing the cause for young people, because it has presented itself as a credible partner or a credible body that unites youth-led institutions for such a powerful cause. So when we look at the campaign, I believe that going forward, even for the countries that I've mentioned, the campaign did not end last year. We are still seeing the effect of the campaign all over. We are seeing invites coming to United to take part in activities. So we can see that there were landmarks and there was impact that was created by the presence of the campaign. We are seeing a lot of expectations from the youth-led organizations, but also from the partners that were convened, because yes, the discussion lives on, and I want to appreciate that United initiated those very critical discussions at country level. I think I wanted to present that in encapsulation, and thank you very much, and over to you, our moderators. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Trevor. I think we can clearly see the great work that was done throughout 2025 with the United movement. I have also seen another comment in the chat box from Munira talking about what they've done in South Africa, where she worked with 2 other United movement members to implement a project for harm reduction, which targeted 20 young people. We are doing a lot. Let's make sure that we also share all those things. They really need to be documented. If we don't document, it seems as if we are doing nothing. But before we open up for Q&A, I also want to bring back Trevor, who is going to give us some of the findings from the survey. Trevor?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, yes, thank you very much. On documentation, I think that has been taken note. I've been seeing comments in the chat. So yes, there has been a survey going around on United, and I want to request that whoever has not yet filled in to please go on and fill in. I think primarily what we'd like to pick from the young people for you to guide in identifying the priority issues for 2026. It is very important that we have young people actively shape the agenda for United. So identifying priority issues from the different countries was such a critical one. And then shaping youth-led campaign themes. We have campaigns still coming on, so it's important that just like the 2025 campaign was shaped by the views of the young people. Again, we have an opportunity for young people to share with us the issues that you have and then look at the most prominent issue for it to be the key thing that we are also taking on. And then generally informing the 2026 work plan and strategy. The views that the young people are giving in the survey are going to essentially help shape the 2026 work plan. Like you said, United is for young people, by the young people, for the young people. So it is important that the views are able to shape the regional priorities, the country action, resource mobilization strategies, among others, but also helping strengthen accountability for young people. It's important. We are seeing that United has already started working with bodies, the CCM bodies, so it's important that the views in the survey help shape the discussions, but also for the views of young people to strengthen evidence-based advocacy. It is important that we have facts shaping the advocacy agenda that we have. So all these are in the survey. I want to request us to fill in. Whoever has not yet filled in, we request that you are able to fill in and ensure that all this information is collected by United and will help us shape the agenda for 2026. I think, Lakmo, I would like to end here and over to you.
Thank you very much, Trevor. I have seen Faith have posted the link to the survey, so you can use that one and get access to the survey. So all what we need to know, just like what Trevor said, what the 2026 regional campaign theme and objectives should be. So let's do that and let's make sure that our voices are heard. So thank you very much. I would like to leave you now in the capable hands of Ravel to lead us the Q&A, and then after that we move on to the next session. So allow me to hand over to Ravel.
Thank you so much, Trevor. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you so much. Hi, everyone. And for those who just joined, my name is Rafa Katoto, and I'm one of the outgoing United Movement Steering Committee member and also country representative from Burundi. And I will be guiding you through the next part of our session. And thank you, everyone who is joining us during this session. And also, I do encourage everyone to fill it out the survey. The survey is going to, it is very important to fill out because it's going to help us to shape the 2026 objectives. And if you are not able to fill it now, Faith is going to circulate the link and so that we can have more time to fill it out. And I think we are going to move into the main part of our discussion today, which is the breakout group plenary session. And the goal is to discuss what next for the United Movement in 2026. And your insight from these breakout rooms will directly shape us, the priority for the United Movement. And this is how it will work. We put you into 3 different breakout rooms, and each focusing on a key area of the work that has been shared previously. And also you will have about 15 minutes for each working groups, for each breakout rooms. But before we jump in, let's start with the Q&A session. If there's any questions, if there's any session, feel free to to write in the comment section and also to come into the, yeah, I think if there's any question, feel free to ask in the chat box or even to unmute yourself and ask, and so we can proceed. Yeah. Okay, we do have here some comment. I am genuinely moved by everything that has been shared. It is powerful to witness how United continues to create change in the lives of young people. The dedication, innovation, and unity in this space are remarkable. United truly embodies youth leadership in action. Thank you so much. This is from Juliana. And yes, I think any questions, guys? Yes, we have a hand from Tony. Could you unmute yourself? Tawanda, could you help us with Tony? Yes.
All right, thank you so much. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Right. Yes, so my name is Olela Tony, and I'm glad to be joining this conversation. I'm also happy to say that I was among the team, the pioneers behind the forming of this amazing movement back then in the years, and sometimes just sitting back and watching the good work that is happening. Yeah? I wanted to just pose a comment and also maybe an area of emphasis that Faith and the team could consider. I remember when we were forming this movement, we were very keen on issues inclusivity, more so for persons with disabilities. So maybe because when I was hearing of the great intervention that have been done from different countries, even from what Trevor presented, and there's a little touch on persons with disability. I think it's important for us to consider seeing how best the membership of the movement can be trained on how to address different issues in line with the challenges that the different categories of persons with disability face. Yeah, and I think that's what I wanted to put across, and we are still open to support where necessary, also in terms with when addressing these kind of issues. Otherwise, thank you so much, and back to you, Ravel. It was just a comment, yeah, and well done. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tony, for raising this. And I think that we're going to take into consideration each kind of diversity and inclusivity within the United movement. And that's, yes, that's a movement, and everyone is there, everyone is included. So yeah, thank you so much for raising this. Any other questions or comments? If not, I think we can move forward. And I think I want us to have a very deep discussion within the breakout rooms. And we're going to break into three parts, which we will be having into three different working groups. And you will have about 15 minutes, 15 or 10 minutes. Let's take 15 minutes. And the room will be facilitated by, we have advocacy, which will be facilitated with Joyce and Charles, and we do have linking, learning, and sharing, which will be facilitated with Linda and Rama, and capacity strengthening, which will be facilitated by Ngosa and Angel. So I think now it's time. We now open the breakout rooms, and you will automatically moved into one of these rooms. So I think have a good time, and we'll see you back here in the main From each group. And as a reminder, please keep your summary about 1 or 2 minutes so that we can have enough time to hear from others. And I think we should start with advocacy group. Could the representative of the advocacy unmute and share with us some of the key points that have been able to be discussed during their room? Rejoice or Munira or Malehodi?
I think Munira was taking the notes. Munira.
Okay.
Hi, everybody. Please just confirm if I'm audible.
Yes, Munira.
Okay, thanks so much. Hi, everybody. Hi, colleagues. It's very lovely to join again in, a community-wide check-in, just monitor and evaluate our progress. So yeah, it was really lovely to kind of hear some of the developments that have happened in country and see that the movement is still alive and vibrant. So from the advocacy group, we've had a couple of points. The main point, which I think might cut across all groups really, is that we need to deal with this issue of health financing. We've seen a divestment in health. And one of our participants actually argued that it's quite regressive given that the youth dividend in the African continent is expanding, right? Meaning that there does need to be an investment in, there needs to be priority around investing in SRHR. And to also acknowledge that young people's health needs change over time. And to that extent, there needs to be either change in policy to reflect the shifting needs of young people and an alignment across policy departments on laws that affect young people. And an example was given around Zimbabwe and how there's laws preventing pregnant people from continuing with education. Another one of our members spoke about how health financing is particularly affecting marginalized communities and how this health financing is really divested in a way that's targeting, the elimination of services to marginalized communities. So we need to continue prioritizing them and putting them at the forefront. We had a young sex worker particularly attest to this. And then we spoke about partnering with government. So we have an issue that maybe young people might not really be addressing governments effectively, and it is necessary to hold them accountable. But we also need to evaluate how we engage with them. We made 2 points on this matter. The first is that we might need some training about how to engage with our governments amicably and approach them with a spirit of camaraderie and partnership. But secondly, we need to approach them in a way that we are requesting them to expand their tables and for young people to join those tables. So this is governments, this is all levels of decision makers. Our group also spoke about, continuing to expand our movement and partnering with other different SRH movements, like continuing to consolidate movements like SRH movements where, they are advocating for pad distributions and maybe pairing that with condom distribution so we can be able to cater to the multifaceted health needs of young people. They also really spoke about remaining active and vibrant on the ground. So doing door-to-door campaign and specifically leveraging, commemoration days to do mass campaigns across our countries and regions, and not forget that spirit of remaining active in the ground by going door to door. We could even employ young school ambassadors so we get young people participating in the movement, but that there's also visibility in the ground. They also spoke about the continued need for health literacy campaigns and continuing to advocate and inform young people about safe sex practices, but in a way that also reduces self-stigma and community stigma and supports treatment adherence. And I think really that concludes it for the advocacy group at this stage. We'll obviously compile a comprehensive summary and share it with the network. But thank you so much for the platform.
Thank you so much, Munira, for sharing. And now let's hear from Linking Learning and Sharing Room. Linda.
Maybe before Linda goes, I just wanted to add I was in Munira's group. I was facilitating it.
Yes, Joyce. Rejoice, thank you.
Yeah, so just to add on health financing, I think one member shared about the Maputo Protocol and how it has been ratified or signed in several countries, yet it's not really being followed, or accountability in that aspect is not adequate. And so there should be a way in which we can be able to push our agenda towards advocating for the implementation of the Maputo Protocol. And if other people do not know about the Maputo Protocol, they can just easily Google it and they'll find all the necessary information. But if we in this group can be able to navigate and direct our attention towards that this year, that would also be great. Over.
Thank you so much, Rejoice, for sharing. And now I think we can hear from Linking Learning and Sharing Group. Linda? Rejoice, okay. Linda, could you? I think it was Linda and Nahma.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Can I please go ahead?
Yes, you can start. 1 minute.
Okay. So from our group, we're able to address the two questions. So the first question, we got a few key elements, which is sorry, I'm just trying to check on my okay. So the key points from the discussion is the platform and method sharing experiences and the best practices, the community radio shows, using the community radio shows. And I think this one was actually highlighted because of the work that United Movement has been doing, involving young people also to actually come across this platform to make sure that the voices of young people are actually voiced out, but also building the capacity in terms of raising awareness on SRHR, HIV and AIDS, and social issues. And this was actually connected to rural areas and semi-urban communities where one person also highlighted the use of local languages to ensure that people are actually understanding the context of what is actually delivered. There was also another thing about call-in shows to allow community engagement, address stigma reduction and awareness on social issues. And then on another aspect, it's the use of social media, especially YouTube and TikTok. For example, there was a case where in Malawi, about 90% of young people are using TikTok channels, and this can actually be used as a potential platform to leverage the work that United Movement is facilitating in different communities. And then we also have blogs and websites where we can use this platform to share stories, especially for stories of people living with HIV and AIDS and how they tackle the challenges from day-to-day life. Also provide resources, guidance, and advocacy content for wider audience. And I think this is not only about sharing stories about HIV, like people who are living with HIV and AIDS. It can also be other young people are also doing incredible work in their communities, for example, in livelihood interventions, leadership, advocacy, and gender equality, and all those kind of areas. And then moving on to the next, inclusivity and accessibility, we highlighted representation of diverse voices, including youth, people living with HIV, and marginalized communities. And then we also had the use of accessible platforms like WhatsApp, and I think this one was connected to what United Movement has established, the WhatsApp group channels for the updates and peer-to-peer communications. And then we also have ensure language and content are culturally appropriate and understandable. Also, there was a suggestion where we can actually use the representatives from United Movement to amplify the communities. I think this one is also um, from the point where someone mentioned we can engage influencers. And this idea was to actually use people who are actually part of the platform and the channels to do the work because they understand the work better. And then we also have another part of that question, facilitating peer support system. Um, encourage peer-to-peer learning through interactive platforms. I've mentioned WhatsApp group and other social media channels. And then host regular session. I'm not sure if I captured this nicely. And then the use of radio is a bit of repetitive. And maybe I can actually touch base on the last question. I know we didn't get time to exhaust this one. But from my own perspective, I feel like it, based on the nature of United Movement, it is very important to also leverage on the community of practices. And I'm sure, like for us, we've already initiated this kind of platform. But now it's also very important to say, like, how are we going to refine and restructure this kind of platforms to make sure that we actually get the positive outcome out of it. Also, the use of partnership sustainability plans. I know we've created different partnerships and collaborations to make sure that we advance our mandate as a collective. So I think that also would be one of the potential area to actually look into, especially if you're looking to work with youth-led organization or networks to ensure continue English guys, to ensure continuation of peer-to-peer support, because that one also is feeding a lot of values. And then, yeah. Another thing that is very important also, it's knowledge documentation, knowledge and learning management. I think that's also going to add a lot of values to the work of United. Yeah, I think that's all from our side. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Larma. Now I think we can move forward with capacity strengthening. We have Ngosa or Angel. And please, 1 minute left so that we have time for closing remarks and time for taking pictures.
Okay, thank you so much, also. Our group, Dennis is going to present. I'll hand over to Dennis.
Ngosa, you can go ahead. You have 1 minute.
Okay, great. So from our group, we're looking at what skills young people need to advocate effectively, and also what we need to sustain the United movement. So the key issues that came up were, first of all, capacity building around research papers, being able to write abstract papers. So just developing the technical skills to be able to do such. The other one that came up was local resource mobilization. I think looking at our global funding landscape currently, there's a dwindling in the fund. So people wanted to explore local fundraising options also to sustain their local movements. Another item that came up was towards inclusivity, capacity building around sign language, for example, to ensure that we are able to transcend the barrier that's there between young people who are delivering this work, and this could also be young people living with disabilities.
So for us to be able to collaborate better, sign language was a key thing that came up. Another item that was brought up was resource mobilization so as to upscale community activities and more information in regards to minimum initial health service packages to help displaced communities and refugees. So if you're looking at probably humanitarian contexts or contexts where you have people who are displaced. There was also another item on access to mentorship, digital tools, and peer networks alongside financial support. So just ensuring that young people and movements can identify resources and leverage partnerships and also develop self-sustaining mechanisms. Another key one that came up was around skills in data analysis and storytelling, as well as collision building and adaptability, which are essential for engaging diverse stakeholders and sustaining impact in a rapidly changing social and political context. So those are the submissions from the capacity building group. Thank you so much. I hope that was under a minute.
Thank you so much for capacity strengthening group. And it is very clear that we have a lot of energy, a lot of ideas, a lot of advocacy priorities for this year. And so we have now come to the final part of our webinar. But before, I would like to highlight two main things. Guys, keep filling out the survey. The survey will be circulated across the United social medias and also the main WhatsApp group. And if you have not yet joined, please, it's time. And before we log out, I would like to have some time with, we have to take pictures for our social media. I would like to, for those who are able to turn on their cameras so we can have good pictures with your beautiful faces. And Tawanda could help us capture the moment.
Thank you so much. So yes, those of us who are able to turn on their cameras, please go ahead and turn on your cameras so that we capture a beautiful screenshot. I encourage all of us to turn on our cameras. Okay, I can start to see people. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. Thank you. Thank you so much. Let's give it 10 more seconds. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. I think we have enough videos. So on the count of 3, let's give it big smiles. 1, 2, 3.
Wanda.
Thank you so much. Maybe we could do another one. Let's do bigger smiles this time. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Thank you so much.
Guys, thank you
Back to
so
you.
much. Thank you so much, Tawanda, guys. Thank you so much for everyone who are able to join us. And also, please keep filling out the survey.
Before we leave, I'm not part of the WhatsApp group, and there are a couple of people that I would like to connect with after this. How do I become part of the group?
I think Bev could help us to share the link on the WhatsApp here in the chat box so that everyone who do not have the link could be able to join. Yeah. And also remember to fill out the survey so that we can have a lot of voices and yeah.
So do I have to hang the call or just stay in here until the WhatsApp group link has been shared?
I was asking if you've signed up to join the movement using the survey link that we shared. If you have, when you scroll down, you'll find where it says join our WhatsApp community. You click on that link, it takes you to join the WhatsApp groups.
Oh, thank you so much.
Nice. Bye. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. And to those who are taking notes, please do share them on email.
you.